Results. They are inescapable in today's world. Whether it be your test scores in maths, the rankings of countries on the Global Safety Index, or even the score of that football match last week. Now, we often find ourselves comparing our results with one another and competing to see who the best is. Why do we do this? Simple. Getting good results means getting rewarded and recognized by others. This is the basis of our result oriented world. And for the most part, this is a good thing. It is this very attitude of striving for better results that has catalyzed humanity's rapid growth and development, propelling us from the advent of fire all the way to the frontiers of space exploration. Nevertheless, in this day and age, this orientation towards results is slowly becoming an obsession. Ever heard of the phrase by hook or by crook? How about the end justifies the means? Both these phrases echo essentially the same idea. That is, to achieve the best results possible by any means necessary. This exemplifies this result obsessed attitude, which is a problem that I myself have been dealing with for quite a while. Have you ever felt tempted to cheat in order to win? Have you ever felt so frustrated and infuriated at yourself whenever you failed or lost? Have you ever felt inadequate when comparing yourself with others? I certainly have. And if you have too, I'm sorry to say, but you also have result obsession. And that's what brings me here today. I wish to reveal how this result obsessed attitude can dampen our happiness and hamper our self development. And I am here to propose a solution. That is, to reinstate the importance of the process through which we achieve things, and to revitalize our love for said process. Now, I'd like to explore result obsession and its impacts in three different aspects. Firstly, we have life aspirations and goals. Now, when you ask most people about what success in life means, they'd say something along the lines of becoming rich and famous, being recognized and acknowledged by others, or even leaving a mark on the world. And that's great. However, many people fall into the trap of believing that only after they achieve said life aspirations will they be happy with their lives. That is to say, only after seeing the results of their life's work will they be satisfied. And with this attitude, they find themselves deferring their happiness in their lives while constantly chasing after their life aspirations, believing that all that happiness and joy that they seek will come to them the moment they make it, as if they were trains chugging hurriedly towards happiness station. The problem is, the happiness felt in that moment of success is very fleeting. The train must leave the station eventually. And more often than not, happiness station may be one of the last stops of the journey, nearing the end of one's life. Therefore, it is crucial that a change in perspective must be made. One must recognize happiness not as a destination, but rather a journey. One doesn't chug hurriedly towards happiness station, but rather travels along happiness line. It's about enjoying the process towards reaching one's aspirations and not just about seeing oneself reach said aspirations. Now, you may ask, why should we enjoy the process? Well, people spend most of their lives chasing after their life aspirations. Enjoying the process allows one to derive a more long term sense. Well, people spend most of their lives chasing after their life aspiration. Enjoying the process allows one to derive a more long term sense of happiness and fulfillment, more so than the fleeting joy of seeing one reach one's aspiration. Plus, enjoying the process keeps motivation levels high, and this fuels the engine that drives one to success. Now, there's one last point I'd like to touch upon with regards to goals specifically, and it's the misconception that goals are only useful insofar as they have been achieved. That is, goals are only useful once you see good results. As Bruce Lee once said, a goal is not always meant to be reached. Often, it serves simply as something to aim at, much like a target. Goals aren't always about seeing the end results. Sometimes it is there to merely guide you in the right direction. The true power of a goal lies in the pursuit of it, in the process. Through pursuit, we learn, grow, develop, and overcome challenges, even if we do face failure at the end. This is as there is no such thing as pointless effort. It's as I say, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land among the stars. Next, I'd like to move on to the second aspect, good deeds. Do the right thing, even when no one is watching. That is a rule that I try to strive by. But what makes it difficult is that it completely flies in the face of one of the main reasons why people do good things. That is to be recognized as a kind person and to be rewarded or praised for that. The thing is, a good deed stops being a good deed once a reward is expected. As a matter of fact, a good deed the benefit of a good deed is that there is no reward. When one doesn't want recognition from others or look for a reward, they gain self confidence because they do the right thing and feel satisfaction internally. When one stops looking for recognition from others, they gain recognition from themselves. Another reason why people do good things is to see the results of their actions. That is, to see the impact that good deeds have. However, many small deeds, such as picking up litter or donating a small sum of money to charity, have seemingly little to no noticeable impact. And this discourages people from doing them. I mean, what is the point of doing something if it has no impact? That can't be further from the truth. As I said before, there is no such thing as pointless effort. Even the most smallest of deeds can have an impact, even if you can't feel it. Besides, say it was seemingly fruitless. Continuing to do good deeds cultivates an attitude of kindness, and this instills you with a habit of doing good things. And eventually, over time, this habit will accumulate and bring about a noticeable impact in the world. This brings me to the third and final aspect, and the main reason I made this speech, passion. Everybody has a passion, something they enjoy doing and wish to pursue. I find passions amazing because the purpose of doing them is unique to most other activities. People do things such as work or chores to receive their end results, that being a salary and a clean house, respectively. There are means to an end. Passions, however, break this mold. People do passions because they enjoy doing it. It's not a means to an end, but an end in itself. Unfortunately, even passions are subject to the corruption of result obsession. To demonstrate this, let me get a bit personal here. Now, if you ask any of my classmates about me, they'd say I'm the Albert Einstein of the class. One, the top scorer. Now, the Albert Einstein part is a gross over exaggeration, but when it comes to academics, I'm certainly near the top. And this was due in part to my love of learning. When I was little, I was a voracious reader, especially of nonfiction books. Though I've fallen off the habit a bit, I just really enjoyed the process of learning new things, and this led me to excel in class. Naturally, this led me to develop a reputation amongst my teachers and peers. This is where my fixation on results, my result obsession, set in. I felt a duty to uphold that reputation. I felt that I had to always be the top scorer in class, else I risked destroying that reputation. I started to focus on the results, namely marks and report cards. I started to fear that any slip ups that I would make would ruin what others would think of me. Evidently, slip ups did happen. No one is infallible. And when they did, I'd get so upset and frustrated at myself for even the most minute of things. Learning something I was deeply passionate about became dreadful. When I started to focus on the results, learning just became me beating myself up over making mistakes. Of course, nobody else in class seemed to care that I had slipped up, and my reputation wasn't tarnished, but for me it was a major thing. And my personal experience is a prime example of what many others face when it comes to their passion. When people start to first pick up a passion, they begin wide eyed, pink faced, and eager. They learn and pursue vigorously and earnestly. This keenness stems from a enjoyment of what they're doing, a pure enjoyment of the process. Like a child, they play for the sake of playing. This is known as the beginner's mindset. As one begins to hone their passions, they start gaining a wider scope of it. As they learn more, naturally questions start to arise, and along with them, worries. Am I good at what I do? How do I compare to others in my field? Am I doing this correctly? Worries start bubbling up. People start comparing themselves to others, and whenever they inevitably fall short at times, they suffer frustration and anguish. At this point, they find themselves facing one major question: why did I even start to pursue this passion in the first place? Now, this is where I'd like to introduce a quote by the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. Man's maturity, to have regained the seriousness that he had as a child at play. Maturity. Maturity in terms of passion is when one, even at the highest levels of their field, returns to that beginner's mindset. It's a rediscovery of that optimism, eagerness, and enthusiasm they once had. Like a child, they play passionately and naively. It's a realization that ultimately passions are for people to enjoy themselves, to have fun, and that getting hung up on failure is pointless because one's success isn't measured by one's victories or accolades, but rather if one enjoys what they're doing. If there's anything I want you to take home today, it's this. We live in a world where results reign supreme. Scoreboards, rankings, leaderboards, you name it, there are countless of ways in which we compare ourselves to others and size ourselves up. In such a world, as we mature, we begin to focus on the results. And this corrupts our morals, passions, aspirations, and goals. Solution is true maturity. True maturity is a realization of the importance of the process. It's an enjoyment of the process, and striving for greater results. It's a reclamation of joy in our lives by the rediscovery of the passion and enthusiasm we once had. It's when we appreciate the journey with no fixation on the destination. It's when we enjoy the process with no fear of bad results. It's when we do the things we like with the same vigor, intensity, and seriousness to that of a child at play. Thank you.